YouTube. So it's almost that time to go back to school. Well, I know it is for me. And so I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of back to school videos, you know, just different stuff pertaining to back to school. Sometimes it's focused on everybody, high school or college, and then sometimes it's just going to be focused on college, like today's video. And today's video is going to be things you should definitely know before college. And these are just some things that probably will catch you off guard when you first go to college, because I know it caught me off guard. So I'm just helping you guys, giving you guys a heads up, because I know a lot of my subscribers are about to go to college for the first time. So these are things you should definitely know before you enter your college. And also, if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. New videos weekly. So let's get started. The first one I always tell somebody is about freshman 15. That is a real thing. And the reason it's a real thing is because you get these meal plans where you can eat 3 times during the day. First of all, which is really a waste of your money, because you don't have time to go there 3 times a day. I barely even went throughout the whole year, my first year, so I definitely got rid of that meal plan. But first of all, you don't go eat 3 times a day, so it's really a waste of money. But a lot of people do fall victim of freshman 15 because you can go when you want to and it's unlimited. So you get what I'm saying? Like, you can eat how much you want, and they have pizza, they have all these different varieties, and it's actually good. Like, you know, like as your high school cafeteria is not good, but your dining hall at school is actually good. So it really can pile up on you. And I know a lot of people who fell victim to freshman 15 the first semester, not even first year, the first semester. So freshman 15 is real. Next is, you should definitely get to know your professor outside of class, because it's so many students that are in the classroom. I'm talking like way more than your high school classroom. It's so many people that are in there, you are just like an ant. So it's best to know, like, after you go to class, you know, say, hey, my name is such and such, because I'm telling you, my relationships with my professor have made a difference between a B and an A in the class. Because when you have that 1 point behind, like I remember my last semester, I had like an 89, but since I had a relationship with him, he bumped it up to a 90. So that really can make a difference. So make sure you get to know your professor, because it also can make a difference between a failing and passing the class. And yeah, which brings me to my next subject. I know in college you have the freedom to not go to your classes. You know, you can skip classes, you can do what you want to do, but yeah, that's not good, because a lot of times in college, your professor will have an attendance policy where you can only miss like 3 classes. So if you think, oh yeah, you know, I can miss 3 classes, so I'm just not going to go today. What if something really comes up, or you get sick or something and you have to miss class, but you won't be able to do it because you already used your 3 times? And I have known a lot of people who have failed out because they skipped class, and like they failed the attendance policy. And a lot of professors will fail you or drop you a letter grade, which brought them to failure. And also, I've never been the one to skip class. I'm a senior, and I haven't missed more than 5 classes my whole entire like college life. And actually, if you go to class, that helps you pass. If you just go to class and pay attention, that helps you get good grades and pass. So yeah. But next thing that you should know is you are going to kind of be on the struggle life, I like to say, in like, you know, pretend, because you might not work your first year, and I recommend not working, because you have to really figure out like the balancing thing. I didn't start working until my junior year. So my freshman and sophomore year I wasn't working, and I did have kind of a sort of meal plan where I would have like dining dollars to the Chick-fil-A, like the fast food places that I know I would eat. But so I had that. But when I say struggle life, I don't necessarily mean broke, because I wasn't broke, but not being in my parents' house, you know, mommy wasn't cooking those meals, daddy wasn't bringing home the food all the time. So it was like, what the heck, I have to use my own money now. Like, and like my parents were still giving me money, but I would notice the money that they give me was going way too fast, because like I had to buy food, I had to buy this, da da da. So you really do be on the struggle life a little bit. So, and you will find yourself eating noodles a lot, or SpaghettiOs and stuff like that. And if you're like me, you went to college not really knowing how to cook. So hot dogs and fries are my favorite meal in college. Because yeah, it just is, because it's cheap and it's easy to make, and you don't have to eat out a lot. So that's what I call, you will be kind of in the struggle life phase. The next one is you might not get along with your roommates. I'm sorry to tell you guys, it's not all, oh hey, my roommate is my best friend for life, da 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 da. Yeah, your freshman year when you move in, living beside somebody will get hectic. I lived by myself my freshman year. I lived in a single room dorm because I know I do not get along good with being by somebody 24/7. I'm somebody that needs alone time. So I knew that it wasn't going to be good for me. But listening to my other friends' stories is not good. Like, it's always a conflict. Sometimes you do have these really good like situations where you do turn out to be best friends. But then other times it gets really bad and you got to move out. It's just a lot. So be prepared. But I would definitely try to be friends with my roommate or make an attempt and, you know, do stuff together, find your common interests, because it's always better to be together than apart. But if you don't become good friends with them, don't let it get you down. It's normal. Now, me personally, my sophomore years when I first got my first set of roommates, I'm actually friends with them. Like, we're actually best friends. So mine turned out good, but we also didn't have to live right beside each other. Like, we each had our separate rooms. So that played a big part. Another thing, do not pre-buy your textbooks. That is the most common mistake that freshmen make, and even people I know still make. They pre-buy their textbook. That is not good, because when you go to class the first day, your professor might say, hey, the textbook is optional, we don't even use it, da da da. And that's actually common. Like, my last semester, I didn't buy any books, and I got all A's and 1B's. So please do not buy your textbooks until after your first day. Trust me, you will not need it before then anyway. So don't buy it until after your first day and you ask the professor, or he says if you need or do not need it. My next thing is, college revolves around 3 things: sleeping, studying, and partying. Because you have the freedom to do anything. Your mom and dad is not there to say, hey, this is your curfew, you can't do this, you can't hang out with that person. You're free to do anything you want. So really, it's around those 3 things, and you're really going to have to balance them out. A lot of people can only handle doing 2 of them. Like, some people are either not partying, some people are not sleeping, pulling all-nighters, procrastinating, and then some people aren't even doing their books and they fell out the first year. So really, you really have to figure out how to balance those 3. But for me personally, I use a planner and I do daily checklists, and you know, I just balance everything out. And sometimes, yes, when I'm at home, my roommates, they want to, like, you know, turn up and go out, and I say no, I stay home and study, because that's what works best for me. I have to balance it out. You can't go to every party, and that's fine. You're not gonna be able to do everything in college, and trust me, it's gonna be something just like the one you missed, like, coming up in the next week or so. So like, if you have to miss a party, don't worry about it, because there's so many partying in college. Just like, don't worry about it. The next thing you should know is your university, especially, okay, if it's a university, I'm pretty sure it is big. So something you should know is, before you actually start like your first day of class, like when you're moving in, you should take time out to go walk around and find your classes, because you do not want to be looking like a lost puppy freshman the first day of school. So what I did was, Corey was with me. So what I did was, like, while my mom was decorating the room, you know, we went out, I found where the dining hall was, I found where all my classes were, you know, everything I needed to know. I figured it out the first day, so I wouldn't be looking lost and just like standing out, because it's already nerve-wracking as it is. And I went to college with no friends knowing prior, so it was really nerve-wracking. So I had to make sure I knew where everything was. And speaking of friends, that's another thing. Sometimes when you go into college with your best friends from high school, sometimes you guys drift away. Sometimes, you know, you find different interests. You know, people, like, college is the time you find yourself. So you're not the same person you are in high school. So that's something that you shouldn't let really get to you. If you drift away from your high school friends, then, you know, just move on, and it's okay, because that's actually normal, because you guys grow up and you go different paths, and you know, you find different interests and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm still cool with my high school friends. We're still in contact, we're still best buddies, so it can go vice versa. But I just think you guys should know that the people that you might start with might not be there at the end. And that's also the same for the college friends that you meet your freshman year. You might not hang out with the people you did first semester. as you do second semester. It's all about just finding the people that you like to be around and what works best for you. The next thing you should know is, if I were you, I would not take Friday classes. Yes, you can have a full schedule and not have to take Friday classes. This works so good for me. You know, sometimes you end up having to take Friday classes, like when you have to take a class and it's only offered on Friday. I've been stuck in a few Friday classes and Friday jobs on campus, but not anymore though. So, but yeah, it's so good we don't have Friday classes, because in college, I know at a lot of colleges where I live, Thursdays are like the turn up days, because a lot of people don't have Friday classes. So you do not want to be that person that's like, oh, I can't go out Thursday because I have a 9 a.m. class Friday. Or you don't want to be that person that still goes out and is dead the next Friday in class, or you know, you have a test or something. Like, it really sucks if you have Friday classes. So I would try to work my way around that if I can. If you can, like, if you have to take the class, take the class. But I'm pretty sure your first semester of college, there's no Friday class that you have to take. So if I had a Friday class on my schedule, I would definitely try to, you know, take that off. The next thing that you should know in college is that word gets around fast. So if you know what I mean, be careful about the boys that you mess with, because word gets around fast. Chances are he's messing with somebody in the dorm that you live in, or on campus or somewhere. So be careful with that, because word gets around fast. You don't want to have a name for yourself, because once you have that name for yourself, it's really hard to rebuild your reputation. The next thing you should know is that if you don't have a car, it kind of sucks, because I have my car and I was able to, like, you know, get around, get to the parties and stuff. But for my friends who didn't have their car, or, you know, like, left their car at home, they were really like, you have to find rides all the time. You have to pay gas money all the time, because I know it's a thing that they always say, oh, you don't need your car in college. But let me tell you, you really do. You really do it. Yeah, some stuff is walking distance, but when you don't want to eat on campus, and you know, you want to go to the restaurants down the street, the parties and stuff like that, and Walmart and stuff, you don't always want to catch a bus, and sometimes the bus doesn't even go there. So if you have a car, beg your parents to take your car. And I would recommend going to a university that allows you to take your car, like I did, because I knew that was going to be a biggie. But be careful, because another thing you should know is that people will try to use you for your car. If that's not your friend, then don't be letting no random people use your car, because that happens a lot. People will try to use you. It happens to me. And no, you have to stand up for yourself. Like, it's your car. No. And even if they are your friend, sometimes you can do favors, but a lot of times you need to ask for gas money, because at the end of the day, who's gonna have to put the money in the tank for taking them somewhere? You. So you should definitely ask them for a little bit of gas money for the inconvenience, because you're not taxi. And if you don't have a car, or your university don't allow you, or your mom won't let you bring your car to school, you can get an Uber, and that can take you around. That's my only advice. Or you can, I don't know, it's gonna be really hard. And I don't know why that's a myth of, you know, you don't need your car, because in my opinion, you do. Another thing you should know is that all-nighters suck. I found myself doing them a lot of time, and I found myself saying, if I would have just studied half of this, like, all week, I could have just broke a section down 15 minutes each day, and then I would be great than studying all the way up into the wee hours of the night. But I mean, it's really nothing to prevent that. That's something you should know. All-nighters are gonna happen, because you're gonna be so busy with all your other classes, all your other fun, your organization. They're gonna happen, and they suck. Another thing you should know is that college students do not get cute for class every day. Like, you have those days, you know, where you'll get cute and stuff, but sometimes, especially those 8 a.m.s and those 9:30s, my college people know what I'm talking about. You just hop out of bed, throw your hair up, put a hoodie on, and you just go to class, and nobody cares. Nobody judges you. Like, you do not get cute every day. Now, but now you do have those people who do get cute every day. Me, I do it, like, you know, back and forth. Like, sometimes I get cute for the afternoon classes, in the morning classes I look crazy. But yeah, it's not like high school where it's the fashion show all the time. It's not. But okay, that's it for the things you should know before college. I know I have missed a few because it's a lot of things you should know, but these are just some of the big ones I could think of. For my people who are in college, leave a comment on some things that you think people should know so that you can help other people. And if you're not in college yet, what are some things that you're scared of, or what are some myths that you've heard, and maybe I can talk to you guys and help you out. And if you're scared to ask in the comments, I do have my Ask account that's also in the description. So make sure you comment and you like this video and you subscribe. New videos every week, and it's going to be more frequently for you guys, and I have a lot of stuff coming up, and yep, it's going to be good. Bye guys.